Let's move past whether Trump or Biden carries Georgia in the presidential election. The Peach State is about to become the center of the political universe in January 2021. Why? Well, there may very well be two runoff elections. Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler came in second behind Democrat Raphael Warnock in the first race, a special election to fill the seat of retired Senator Johnny Isakson until 2022. Neither candidate came close to 50% and will face off in January. In the other Senate race, incumbent Republican David Perdue first appeared to have avoided a runoff against Democrat Jon Ossoff. His vote share hovered slightly above 50% for the first 36 hours after polls closed. But as the urban core around Atlanta began reporting its vote in larger numbers yesterday, that share dipped, making a runoff more likely. And depending on the outcome of those elections, and assuming nothing else changes, the outcome of those runoffs could decide the proverbial balance of power on Capitol Hill. So let me bring former Jacksonville Chief of Staff and a political strategist himself, Chris Hand, into the fold. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Bruce.
So usually runoff elections don't get a lot of attention, don't draw a lot of people to the polls. This one will draw both of those things. And am I right in assuming millions of dollars?
Well, you're absolutely right, Bruce. And for anyone who's in the Channel 4 viewing area who thought they had seen their last political advertisements as of November 3rd, think again, because over the next 2 months, because this is part of the South Georgia media market, there will be heavy investment in television and other campaign advertisements because of so much that's at stake in these Senate elections. And I know we're moving past the presidential race, but I do think it is worth pointing out, as WJXT has reported this morning, of course, that Joe Biden has taken the lead in Georgia. That just places even more emphasis on these two Senate runoffs that will occur on January the 5th.
Yeah, a two-part question here. Is this going to be like a mini presidential election in some form? And how high are the stakes here?
Well, think of it as a presidential election in a single state, because that's what will happen over the course of the next 2 months. Obviously, resources nationally for the last year have been focused on the entire country or on certain kind of focus states. Well, now all of that focus turns to a single state, the Peach State, Georgia. So you're going to see a lot of national emphasis on Georgia by both parties. And of course, the stakes are very high, Bruce, in the sense that if Democrats were to win both of these Georgia Senate seats, especially if Joe Biden is president and Vice President Kamala Harris presides over the Senate, that would give Democrats a working majority in the Senate, which would obviously be a very big deal for President Biden's ability to govern. So the stakes are extremely high for both parties. So both parties and other national organizations will make major investments and have a lot of focus on the state of Georgia between now and January the 5th.
So let's see how the two parties might approach it in Georgia. If Biden wins, do the Dems go into this totally energized? And the GOP has long taken Georgia's conservative bent for granted. Would this give them a chance to reassert that ideological lean?
Well, I think both parties are going to be very energized going into these Georgia runoffs for a variety of different reasons. For Democrats, obviously, the prospect of being able to control the Senate and help to advance what would be President Biden's legislative agenda is going to be a big deal. For Republicans around the country, obviously, they want to maintain their Senate majority, but they'll also want to be successful in Georgia, a state where traditionally Republicans have been successful statewide. So I don't think there's going to be any lack of energy on the part of either political party as part of these runoffs.
So since we don't know the outcome of the presidential election yet, can you even handicap two runoffs at this point?
Well, it's very hard to say, Bruce. I mean, traditionally, of course, Georgia is one of the unique states in the country that does have a runoff if nobody receives 50% plus one of the vote on election day itself. So in the past, when these runoffs have occurred in recent years, they have tended to favor Republican candidates just because there was stronger turnout among Republican voters. But obviously the results in Georgia this November, the fact that Joe Biden has now taken the lead, looks like he might win the state. That obviously presents a changed dynamic. So again, I think there'll be heavy turnout from both parties, national attention on Georgia for the next 60 days.
Chris Hand, appreciate your perspective. Have a great weekend, and we'll be right back.
Bruce.